Yeah.
What's this for?
Well, I don't think we'll be pumping him up tonight.
Welcome to the Collingwood Rant, very sombre Collingwood Rant. I'm Sly.
And I'm, congratulations, Gold Coast on winning the flag the other night, Spook.
So, horrific ordeal Friday night.
Was that the pizza you ordered?
No. Just seriously, one of the most painful things to experience. How much longer are they going to let Anthony Hudson commentate?
It was a commentary team. I didn't pay any attention. There was something that was distracting me the whole first half.
I just remember how bad Anthony Hudson...
Lee Matthews was on there, wasn't he?
He actually was,
Did they crack him out of cryogenic suspension?
He seems to be making a few more media appearances lately.
Is it because he came out of cryogenic suspension?
Potentially.
Somehow Lee Matthews returned.
Thanks, JJ. This is a game of two halves.
Wasn't it?
Let's actually go to the selections.
Do you know there's a saying called polar opposite? It's not a saying, it's a statement.
Yeah, a statement.
Fucking, how polar opposite was this half and the first half and the second half?
Let's go to the selections. So, Lipinski's managed. I don't get this.
Well, wasn't he out for, 2-3 weeks with concussion?
So he was...
Come back for 2 games?
I think he was rested about round 3, and then against Adelaide, he had very limited time. When he was concussed against Hawthorn, and he didn't play for 21 days because we had a break in there too. So he had 3 weeks off, and then he came back against Saints, I believe it was. He's been back for a few weeks, and now he's getting managed again.
And he had form.
Finally. But, so that was a little bit strange.
Wasn't it? You don't think there's any arrogance slipping into the selection panel, do you?
Well, they're probably experimenting.
Are they experimenting? I didn't see any white lab coats.
And they didn't bring Ed Allen back. He was dropped.
He was best on ground in the VFL. Did you know that?
They put him in the middle where he should be playing. So, a couple of weird selections. Mason Cox came in, which I sort of understood.
Cox in?
Yeah, with Jared Witt being the opposition ruck, you'd want to go a little bit taller. But I really look at that side and I don't know if they are experimenting, trying to get the right mix. And I'm worried if they're trying to do that, they're actually holding on to things that aren't working, like that 3M forward line, which I really think's not working.
Sly, we've been winning games.
Yeah. Let's actually... What do you think of Cameron's ruck performance compared to Coxie's ruck performance?
I thought Cox was the better ruckman on the night.
What do you think you get more out of? An effective tap ruckman who doesn't take as many marks around the ground, although Cox did take marks in this game, or someone who's not effective in the middle but takes marks around the ground?
Look, I think your first use of the ball is a crucial thing to getting clearances. So an effective tap ruckman for mine. However, though, I where you're going with this, I guess, is I think Cameron has that stability around his performances each week where Coxie has the capacity to fade at the moment. So I guess that's the...
Cox has always been inconsistent. You love those games where he just double grabs at him and drops them all game, and then you'll have games like on Friday night, he was just sticking immediately. But in terms of the midfield, because it is, I think, now problematic, I think they're going to be benefited by somebody who can give them first use rather than having to play defensively. Ned Long, where's he at?
I think he's due for a rest. He's struggling a bit.
Yeah, I think...
But however, though, I know Mitchell was at a shit game as well, so...
They say, like, with players the second week back from long injury, they tend to struggle. But, I mean, he's played 7 weeks in the VFL. Pendlebury is a sub. Did you find that a little bit arrogant?
Oh, fuck. I mean, the game turned when he came back on. So, Pendlebury, when he came on, when he got subbed on. His influence was huge. You don't think he would have been useful in the first half?
Oh, totally.
I don't fucking see the sense in subbing him. He's not he's playing like a 20-year-old at the moment.
Yeah, the only thing is, and I think we spoke about this previously, you cannot have such a slow midfield at times where you don't have anyone with a little bit of class. But at times they got like Mitchell, Pendles, Long, and it's like, well, how slow do you want this midfield to be if they don't win the tap out? I think one of the things with Long, I think he does look exhausted. We flagged that a while ago, but also he's overcompensated to be too defensive. Whereas at the start, when there was no expectation on him, he was taking the game on a little bit more himself.
Yeah,
and then because he got all this adulation as his pressure points and his defensive play and his tackling and all that, I think he's skewed too far in that direction. One guy I'm really disappointed in is Nick Daicos. And people go, oh, how dare you be tough on Nick? And
how dare you be tough on Nick?
I think this year he's had some really bad habits creep into his game. Calling for the ball when he's not in the position to call for the ball. And he does that two ways. It's either the 1-2. Like, one of my pet hates of football is like, you've got the ball, I'm passing. It's like, give it to me, you give it to me, and I just kick it. It's like, well, you could have just done that yourself. And the other one where he's calling for it and he's running into danger or into trouble. I don't know if it was the knocks he took in this match or if he's carrying something over, but you could see, and Evan McRae mentioned it in the press conference, that he's not getting to contests the way he used to.
Well, certainly I don't remember seeing there was any footage of it, but they did report in the first quarter, the commentators, that he was hobbling after a contest. So he's come down either...
They showed the footage of it.
Did he?
Yeah,
did they? I was probably too busy vomiting at the time.
The Gold Coast player just sort of pretty much stood right on his foot as he was setting back off.
So that could have exacerbated an existing injury because he's been carrying something in the foot. Because he was hobbling around a bit for a while, went down the rooms, obviously had the COVID jab. Is that what they're still giving that? Is that still a thing?
I don't think it's that particular jab.
So he got a jab and he came back out and obviously played out the game. But I was expecting him to be subbed at that point when he went down the rooms. You think that's just that sort of night when you lose the cream in a shit performance? But it did not to be anyway.
Yeah, they've got to get that chemistry right because that midfield is not clicking, and people go, "How dare you be negative because you've been winning?" And we flagged that like from round 8, I think it was, they've lost the midfield battle pretty much every time. I think up until Carlton, and we see how well Carlton's doing, and they don't. When they put Josh Daicos in there, did you notice they put Josh Daicos in there?
He's the best midfielder I've ever seen.
He's never played there before. He certainly never played there under Nathan Buckley. He certainly has never played there under Craig McRae. It's the first time they ever used him there.
He single-handedly solved our midfield woes in one quarter. Didn't you notice that?
Do people not realise he has played there before? And just because he's had one great quarter doesn't mean...
a summer doesn't make, or whatever the saying is.
And it's not to criticise and say, no, he can't play there. But the reality is, if that was what he was producing every week, then... he'll start getting the treatment that Nick gets.
Yeah, look, it was a fucking phenomenal quarter, but it's early days. Players can't be out.
But it's not going to be the standard. That's going to be the exception. I mean, no midfielder. You look at the greatest midfielders of all time. You go Gary Ablett, Judd, Bucks. You can't do that all the time. And I don't know if he was being facetious, but Damien Hardwick said that he sent the runner out to the players to say go to Daicos, and they actually went to Nick, not to Josh. So I don't know if that sort of escaped the tension. It was great, but. It kills me the amount of people suddenly who are saying, oh, geez, what have we found here?
It's not just our supporter base who usually cling to this sort of stuff. But the fucking media had endless... they've got to run with something on a... It's a semi-daily basis these days, isn't it? It's every 3 hours there's a new football show coming out.
Yeah.
It's incredulous. No fucking detriment to his performance. That was a great game that he played.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know how we make these fucking amazing leaps at times. Not we, but them out there.
Yeah,
not the ones watching. I mean, they're half intelligent, but the media and the masses, it's just staggering.
So what do you make of that first half? Because that was as bad as I've seen us play.
Really can't recall a worse performance.
And I think last time went goalless in the half was 2021 under Buckley when it had all fallen apart and the players were going backwards and sideways and backwards and sideways. And that was really a horrible effort. They had no fluency. They couldn't move the ball. Gold Coast were fantastic. I think what also helped, is going to sound really bitter, is if you touch Matt Rowell, it's a free kick.
Oh, fuck. We jumping on that? You got a special segment on it?
No, let's jump on it now.
No, but actually, before you jump into it, I think there's one thing I don't really recall us playing particularly well at that ground. I don't know whether it's the humidity or whatever that we do appear a lot more fumbly. Did you ever notice the fucking surface of that ground? It looks like even cows would refuse to walk on it. But they did play the VFL game there before, so it did look pitted. But I don't know what it is with up there. We fumble, we don't run well. There's just something about the ground I don't think we play well at. I mean, we've obviously won there and all that sort of thing before. It's not a consistent thing. But it's just like a strange little fucking version of Marvel to us.
Yeah, I don't think
sometimes.
it's the humidity. I think it's the stupidity.
Well, it could be. It's anonymity.
Playing really stupid.
Morbidity.
Damien Hardwick, like last week, he came out, was talking about Matt Rowell, the way he's umpired off here was Nick Daicos. It's like, if Nick Daicos got umpired the way Matt Rowell got umpired in that game, Nick Daicos would come away for 120 frees per game.
He fucking played the AFL with that statement,
yeah.
And the AFL could not drop their fucking pants quick enough and say, stick it in here.
Yep.
How fucking looked after was he? I mean, it's ridiculous. Even if Nick got a fucking third of those frees that Rowell was getting, he'd be doing all right.
Well, you look at that Melbourne game when they just acted with impunity in retarding Nick, and then they gave him a couple, and everyone's like in an uproar. Well, there's been an adjustment. It's like you should have had like about 12 frees in that game alone. I
can fucking guarantee this week, whoever they play Gold Coast, that Rowell will get one free for him.
Yeah. I not blaming the umpiring for the loss, but geez, the amount of soft free kicks they got really early that helped set up their momentum.
Those first two are ridiculous. Yeah, and again, look, I'm not using that as an excuse for the loss. The loss was clearly
they
in the
killed
first
us in the
fucking
first
half. Yeah. But they're just the fucking soft ones that they got. And they were all within fucking scoring range half the time. And that, it pisses you off. We came back and I think we fluffed the fucking end at any rate. But, it still breaks that momentum when you get those sorts of frees.
Yeah.
And, and it's just that hard fucking timing of when, we finally, Jamie got boot the ball and we got the goal. It looks like the shackles were broken for the scoring, that sort of thing. And it's fucking touched by a fucking bee's dick.
Yeah.
And you go, it's time of night, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I really, the way, and I've always looked at this, and I've said so many times in this, AFL's a piss weak organisation. If they wanted to do something about tagging, they could stamp it out in 1 week. And that's umpired the way they umpired Rowell. I have no problem with that, but you didn't have to do that all the time. You have to be consistent. And that would stamp out the bullshit tactics. They won't do it because they're piss weak. I mean, Ross Lyon called it right. The Suns are a nepo-baby since they've come into the competition.
Oh, fucking...
They haven't played finals.
And they fucking AFL want them to be successful.
And they also want them to have a retention of players. They don't want like what's happened in the past where players just go, I'm getting the fuck out of here. This place is a basket case. So the AFL wants to set that up as a successful franchise. And they've never politicised success for other clubs, have they? They've never had COLA allowances or, Brisbane had the salary cap advantages and stuff like that to push agendas. It's really just proves what a shit competition it is because there's no parity in it. And
there's parity.
There's parity. There's no parity. So that really frustrated me. And Rowell's a great player. Look, those frees are there, but again, you got to pay them all the time. And that's what shits me in terms of the umpiring. It's like, look, I have no problem if that's what you're going to pay, but then that has to be 100% the rule.
No, and there was plenty of other holds, like in the ruck contest and stuff. A couple got paid, a lot were fucking overlooked. Yeah. And if you're going to set that as the standard with the treatment of Rowell, then that has to fucking apply to every contest around the ground.
But there was Jamie Elliott flew for a mark, and that was considered an unrealistic attempt. Yeah. And then one of their players did it, was well, that was fine. He squashed a whole pack. Again, where's the consistency in it?
Oh, but it's okay when you take out your own player.
Yeah.
The other thing, I had a point to make, and now it's fucking gone. Move on.
I'm going to read one of the comments early from George on Spotify. Need to ease off on Houston. He's defining a new role, as Josh Daicos is already doing what he was doing at Port. Would you like to address that?
I see. I don't get this logic. We didn't go out and drop 2 first-round picks on Houston. We'd be paying him a packet just to be fucking second banana to an established player. He would have been brought in with the intent of fucking dominating that back line. That's what the plans they would have had for him. Now, to come in and just say that, well, now it's okay that he's now playing this role that's really quite subdued, that probably anyone could run around the back line and get 19 possessions without being damaging, just makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever.
I find that absurd, and I find it absurd on another front also. It's like, in the 2 games he's played, Markov has run with impunity. So why isn't Houston not doing anything? He's totally kept at home. This whole logic of we brought in Houston, but now Josh is doing his role. Then why did we bring in Houston? We had the players to cover the rest of the half-back line if Joshua's going to play this role exclusively. And someone got, well, Houston's a decoy. Well, wasn't he the decoy at Port? You know, and if someone says, well, Port, you know, he was the lone hand. Well, then he should have been tagged much more at Port than he was at Collingwood. There's more players doing. None of this logic stands up when you really examine it.
No, and the other thing is he really, for the whole season, has escaped any scrutiny.
Actually, the first quarter he was pretty good. And then he just...
But, however, like I said last week, the simple thing is, if we win the flag, no one's going to give a fuck whether he has fucking 3 possessions or 30 in that game, as long as we win. But if we lose the flag or don't make finals this year, the spotlight's going to fall on him eventually.
Yeah, look, Schultz wasn't great last year, and fans were going, no, he's been great. He wasn't, okay? He was okay. But for what you're paying, and you've got to take that into account, because what you're paying for a player means you need a return that's commensurate with what you've paid.
Yep.
Don't give me this shit like, he's going to play 900 games for us and it'll make it worth it. He's been brought in to have an impact. The recruiting is aimed at the now. It's not aimed at 4 years from now. It's aimed at right now. They've taken a gamble this year. They've brought in Membry. You know, they're bringing in sort of the older players because they want to go for it right now. So this whole thing about, like, defining a new role. So, okay, I guess he's defining a new role if the role is to do fuck all offensively from half back. But, you know, and we're talking about this because we're watching this before. Someone will point and make a comment and say, well, what about that pass to Elliott inside forward 50? It's like, I could have made that pass to Elliott. Elliott was 10 metres off his play running into fucking half an open field. Houston just put it in front of him. Well done for doing it. But you know what? Pretty much every player should be able to make that pass. We saw Markov do one to Membry, I think, a quarter earlier. Don't point to fucking instances that should be bread and butter for AFL players. Like, if, for example, with Lipinski, there's a couple of passes he did last week where he threaded a teammate between opposition. They're sublime. And that's what you're expecting. These bread and butter passes, people use them to emphasise statistics for the players to make their case. And it's like, hang on, that's just bullshit. It's good. He got the pass, but you know what? That's just fucking such a standard part of the game. Howe's out injured, so you're worried about him because he seems to have had a few little issues.
So did his groin?
Minor groin.
Did they... I suppose we won't find out tomorrow that it's 8 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's 24 weeks.
24 weeks, 24 years. That's a big loss. I mean, who's going to come in and cover Howe?
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, in terms of, like, is this game an outlier or is this game a massive concern about midfield?
No, Look, I think Gold Coast were primed for this game. It's their first Friday night hosted game or something they've ever played up there. Naturally, we're dragged in to be the fucking marquee event. They were up for it, and they ran and through us with impunity in that first half. We obviously came back and probably almost snatched victory from the jaws of...
It was very much like last year's game.
Defeat, yeah. I don't feel concerned. Not yet.
So what would you do with the midfield with Mitchell, obviously a little bit slow, a little bit older? He was really, really bad, and he did a lot of loopy kicks that they should have brought rain. They went so high. Yeah,
I think... Look, you can single him out, but I think the pressure that the Gold Coast brought really forced... And we've seen that happen a few times this year, that when sides bring the pressure to us, we really go fumbly, or we really panicky with the way that we try and move the ball. It's a mix of chaos and fucking just get it on the boot and hope that it's going to go somewhere. And, you know, we did that same thing again where we were handballing to fucking people under pressure or people are about to be run down, and it just, none of it seemed to gel.
Well, the one I really hated was the handball to space. It's just, or like the punch to space. You just drive it forward and we'll have someone run onto it. But this is a game where it wasn't finding anyone at any point other than opposition. So that was actually really frustrating. What's the midfield look like with Mitchell, Long, there?
No, I think, well, who we potentially got, not Beams.
Beams.
McCreary coming back in. I want to see him play out the rest of the season in the midfield, because that bullishness and that speed is going to equate to clearances, and that's where we're getting smashed something chronic each week. We want someone like that to come in. You still need an inside player around him. Would you continue with Mitchell? I think Long will probably get a rest this week and Mitchell get another crack, you're going to have one or the other, but not both.
So you potentially have Ed Allen there. Would you bring him back in, or you just say, well, we've exposed him a bit this year. That's it.
That'll come down to, is there a better option there?
Well, unless the Goey is ready and firing.
The Goey's going to surely has to come back for a couple of weeks in the VFL. So I don't think we're going to be entertaining the Goey coming in until at least 2 or 3 rounds before finals.
So, I mean, we're around 18, so actually, 6 weeks left?
Yeah.
It's pretty close to when they should actually be determining how this team looks. So, I don't think they got the chemistry right. I found it really interesting that up until that Fremantle game, Sidebottom was a regular starting mid in the middle. And then after that Fremantle game, he hasn't been back there. Mm. And I don't know if McRae and that said, hey, let's not play this hand a little bit too early. Let's, let him just sit on the wing. If you remember last year, he was looking really shit for quite a while. And then about the last quarter of the year, they started playing him in the middle, and he was really, really good. So I don't know if that's something they're just sort of keeping up their sleeve.
Potentially. I mean, I think we've said it a few times. You wouldn't want to reveal your hand right now.
Do you think they'll experiment?
I think we'll experiment. I think we'll have the white lab coats. They'll be running around with beakers in their hands and test tubes for a little while.
What about the forward line? Because the way I see it, when McStay's in there, it doesn't function as well.
So, I mean, the thing is, you looked at 23. I feel a lot more comfortable with Cox and Cameron running around out there, which means one of the talls has to go.
Yeah, McStay is an interesting player because he can do some really sublime stuff. So I go back to the last against Carlton where he took that mark against Wiedering and then turned around and then kicked it 60 metres for a goal. But then he can also do some, the real brain fart stuff where you sort of go, what were you thinking there? The miss straight in front from about 25 metres.
Oh, that was killer.
That was horrible. Especially the wrong time. But if they go to Cox and they drop onto the talls, then Cox probably won't play up forward as much. I think it's hard to judge because we're watching on television, but it felt like they cleared McStay out of it, and that's when Jamie Hillett really came into it.
Yeah, no, I think there's something in that. Yeah, and look, McStay up the ground's quite a good contested mark.
Yeah.
It's a shame he can't do it all the time in the forward line, but still. It's a tough one. It's going to be one of Majacek, Membry, or it's got to be one of the triple M's. We need to go back to the double M's.
Well, Majacek will be the one who definitely stays.
No, you would think so. I think just through, history and all that sort of thing. Memory would be the one that, is the last in the door, but he's played every game this year. I think he was rested once.
He's rested at some point, yeah.
McStay did had the injury, so I don't know. I think it feels like Fly's determined to make it work.
Well, you got the other guy, totally forgot his name, the mid-season draft, he kicked like 5 goals.
Howes?
No, we'll go
Hayes or something?
No, Hayes the other one.
Housey, the animal?
Yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, he's a prospect in terms of this year. They must have drafted him with the eye of, well, we need some coverage because because we're getting injuries, and if we do get injuries, we're not really replete with talls.
No, I don't think he's going to get he's not going to be summoned or anything yet unless we're completely obliterated with talls in the forward line.
Given Howe's injury, would you play McStay down back?
It would be probably the more likely option. So although someone did say Memory at St Kilda
last week,
played a bit. Was he any good at it though?
I don't know. I got no fucking idea.
I'd be a little bit more comfortable with McStay. At least he can he'd play that sort of Cameron role a little bit. Like, he wouldn't be a great defender, but he'd be at least when it come down and hit the pack, he's a better than average chance of marking. And he's not a bad kick out. As long as he's not having to kick between those two posts.
Yeah.
He's a pretty reliable kick, I think, around the ground.
No, generally he's a reliable kick at goal also. I mean, you go back to like last year or 2 years ago at the prelim, he got, I think, a couple really good goals. From what memory, he got like one that was about 45-degree angle. But in terms of, kicking them when you need them, I don't know. If you could actually sit Nick Daicos down, what would you tell him about the way he's playing?
See, I don't see the same issue as you to the same extent. I agree with some of it, but I don't feel as perturbed, I think, as you probably do a little bit.
That's because
I think it'd be a case of, it's almost get back to the Nick basics and not try and do too much. That would be the one thing. But who the fuck am I at the end of the day to talk to someone like that about how to play better?
I think it's a case of playing better because I look, in the 4 seasons he's been in the comp, I don't think this is anywhere near what he's offered now for free. And I think part of the issue can be that he is so good, he probably has gotten away with things that other players generally wouldn't get away with. But that's also, like I said, that's introduced some bad habits, like, calling for the ball when he shouldn't be calling for the ball. Running into a pack and it's like, give it to me. It's sometimes the first option is the easiest one. Is just do the first option.
It's the team thing, not the highlight reel.
You don't always have to do the turn inside out and run against traffic and come back out the other side.
Yeah, and some of that's going to come with experience in that too. You look at that little passage where Pendles ran around the I think it was in the last quarter when he ran the arc, and he was running. He looked like he was about to run into three, and he just stopped on a dime. Turned and fucking kicked. I mean, the rest of us are just looking at it going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then he sighted someone and just landed straight in their chest. Yeah, Nick can do those sorts of things, but a more experienced Nick down the line's going to do it a hell of a lot more than what Pendles does. So it's a lot of it is it's just getting back to the basics. Do the basics really well, and those other little moments are going to come. Not that he's not capable of them now, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he's also fallen in the habit of wrestling his taggers at times.
Yeah, I think that's born of frustration, eh? Look at the attention he's been getting this year.
But what I want McRae to do is actually start Nick on the wing at times and just say, okay, you got 20 metres of open space in front of you, don't wrestle, just run. And if he grabs you, it'll be very evident. Yeah. So rather than being flat-footed around the ball up, whatever, where they're not always seeing the jostling, and fucking at Collingwood, Hardwick has I still can't believe he had the temerity to actually complain about the way Rowell's treated versus the way Nick Daicos is treated.
Well, it fucking worked, didn't it?
Well, it did, but as you said, what will he get now? So, going into this week, you got Fremantle had a really, really good win against Hawthorn. Got a really tall forward line. They got a pretty good midfield. They got 2 really good ruckmen. Playing at the MCG, you think, okay, we should shade them, but what's the side look like? So you should have Pat Lipinski coming back.
Well, Lipinski's back. McCreary's supposed to be back. Is he going to turn up and play footy again?
He was apparently training.
Oh, good on him. Did we clap him when he turned up to training?
I don't know.
I don't know the reasons why he's not injured, so why isn't he playing? Personal reasons we keep hearing, but we don't know what they are. We've heard probably all the same rumours. I don't know.
All right,
I think he should be playing.
Oh, great, he should be playing.
So if he comes back this week, that's McCreary, Lipinski, Hill. Who else is... anyone else back from injury or anything?
Well, Howe's going out.
Howe's going out, so we need someone to come in and do his role.
Do you think Dean... So I was having this conversation.
No.
So you think that was it? That was his shot, and he showed he was so far behind.
Look, did he go all right in the VFL? I don't know.
He masters the VFL. He's too good for the VFL standard.
Look, he just may, through attrition, get another shot. On that showing the other week, I don't think so. But that's a one-game thing, but it was pretty bad.
Oh, it's terrible, but do you think that was whatever he was going to be as a footballer is gone because of the 2 years of injuries? Or was that possibly just, look, he's not up to the tempo of AFL, he's got to be played a few weeks and let's see if he can get into the group? Because they did highly rate him originally. So is whatever ability he had, whatever capacity as a footballer, is it gone? Or...
I don't know. Is Frampton... Is he though?
Frampton's will be a couple of weeks.
Still a couple of weeks, alright, so we don't have to consider him.
I mean,
look, he may get a shot.
I think...
If his form warrants it, I'm okay with it.
I think going
But he'd want to be better than he fucking was the other week.
Yeah, I think this week is a bit of a danger game. Then you have Richmond. And I think
if you're saying that's a danger game.
No, we should smash Richmond. I was just going to say, though, in terms of getting prepared for finals, I will think they'll err on the side of caution of anyone who might be ready. They'll push that down a couple of weeks.
Well, that's going to be... I mean, it is... You don't want to prematurely injure someone now and threaten that run home. We need to win 3 games out of, how many's left? 5 or 6?
Yeah.
I think there's 3 very winnable games in that group. I think we should beat Melbourne at the end of the year because it's the last round and they ain't going to give a fuck if they're not playing finals.
Yep.
Richmond we should beat. So I think we play Adelaide. We play Freo.
We play Hawthorn again,
and Hawthorn again. I think I'm comfortable with the Freo. I think we should win this week. But, it's all going to come down to who's the main challenger. Fucking Geelong are playing Norwood's under 12s for the next 6 weeks. So they're going to not fucking drop a game from here.
I don't have a problem with I think Geelong's overrated. I think they get appreciated because of their standing, but their standing actually comes from having 98 home games a year. I don't think they're the threat. Like the one I've always said is Adelaide, and they're getting scarier. Brisbane also, obviously, just because they got really tough. Like Geelong's not... When I look at the ladder, Geelong and Bulldogs, people get going on about Bulldogs, and they get exposed every third week. And they'll have a good win, everyone goes, oh, they're great.
If we can get, and no more injuries, if we can get those guys that are due to come back in the next week or two back in and still find a spot for Daicos, we can still monster the way home. I'm comfortable that we could win a few of those, enough to get top 2. I think once we get top 2, then you can start... resting. If it comes to the last 2 weeks and we've got top 2 a lock, I don't give a fuck about finishing on top. As long as we're playing that first home final at the G, I think then we be a little bit arrogant with the resting for the last, because it's still then 3 weeks before the first prelim, 2 weeks out is what I'm saying with the games.
Yep.
You've got plenty of time to get guys through anything that they've got niggles or soreness or anything like that. But I think we should be moving towards moulding that side that's going to take us into finals starting this week, massage it a little bit, fuck around with nothing, start locking it down and then qualify. Then you can be a little bit arrogant. I don't think we went into this game super arrogant against Gold Coast or anything like that.
I don't think we did either.
But I think we've got the advantage of playing all these games now at the G, don't we? We don't travel again.
Don't we go to Adelaide?
No, I think we play everyone in the G from the run home.
No, we played Adelaide here last time.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, we're over there, are we?
Oh. That'll be over there.
Okay.
We don't travel though. I mean, Geelong plays everyone at fucking whatever that stadium's called.
Cornholio Stadium.
So coming up against Fremantle, what are you feeling? So Lipinski will come back, Howe's out. I can't imagine Steele's going to survive.
No.
And
I don't think will survive. Hoskinelli can fuck off.
Well, what about Hoskinelli? Let's just talk about that game because he had like 10
clangers
from about 16.
He was their best player.
He was. That was the sort of game where
did he run through their banner as well?
He should have, but that was the sort of game where you'd be looking and going, "Oh, I think the game's passed you by." Somebody in the comments would go, "No, he's great, he's brilliant, whatever." He's had a really mediocre year. He's done a couple of good things. I think he had a good game against Carlton, but everyone had a good game against Carlton. So these are the sort of games where I'd be really worried about certain players. I imagine Steele's out. I think Sullivan will be really lucky to retain his spot if he does. I think Allen would come back. Lipinski comes back. Howe's going, so it's whether you bring in Dean for Howe or whether you just send McStay back or whether you just rely on Maynard or Houston to play tall. Because Houston's defining a new role, you know. So that's the possibilities. And McCreary might be back, you said?
Oh, I believe so. I think he's due.
And potentially Hill could be back.
He did the hamstring though, didn't he? They did say 5-6 weeks. How long he been out for? He'd be about...
I don't know.
Be about a month, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Is he back to full training? You'd have to.
I got no idea. How much is
Okay.
training? So and potentially Hill's back. So they got some really good ins. So what's your thoughts about this game? Win, loss?
No, I think we win.
Easy, comfortable.
Not easily, but I think we win.
All right, cool.
We're at the home deck. We've got the big home crowd behind us. I think it's time to start using that to our... Well, not... It doesn't sound as stupid as I was about to say, but it's time to start using that to our advantage now for these games.
Yeah, I think... I mean, I could look at it, but maybe I will look at the stats. I think we actually got more frees than Gold Coast.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not about the
but
numbers,
where?
it's where you get
so
the
it's
frees.
24-28.
A lot of ours were in defence.
Yeah, and a lot of ours are straight in front of goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your tip?
Collingwood by 33 points.
That sounds good to me. Some comments. Unknown Tuba.
Unknown tuba.
4995.
It's not a tuba.
Agree with the discussion around the ridicule Collingwood cop for 32 years without our flag. In our entire history, the longest Collingwood has ever gone without playing in a grand final is 13 years. Carlton are currently at 27 years and Essendon are at 25.
Fuck the both of them.
Yep. I'm assuming this is Ken Ambo, not Keen Ambo. I'm a fan of Parker, cool, calm and collected. Vinler's BAG for us Saturday in the VFL.
Was he?
Yep. Last week, then, not this week.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually really like the look of Parker. I think he's shown some good composure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the sooner we get him in, the sooner we can define yet another new role for Houston.
Yeah, Parker's got sticky hands.
Yeah.
Like Spider-Man.
Yep. Ashen Prism. I'm still hard after the third quarter against Carlton.
Sticky hands.
It was great to see all forwards lick a few goals. That's interesting. And have moments in the game. The Carlton meltdowns on YouTube and radio all week was glorious. A name for the period of lack of final success of the Blues is the blue balled era. They're coming, you know.
Well, apparently not if they've got blue balls.
Black and White United. The thought of losing to them to Carlton make you a bit anxious. And we do what we did. Lol. Great show again, boys. Thanks, Black and White United. David Hatley, 2010. In tribute to Will Hoskin Elliott.
Is this guy stalking us or what?
Potentially. The Bear should now wear a long sleeve Collingwood jumper.
What do you think, Bear?
United all.
I agree.
Maybe we should send him down to the VFL in honour of Hoskin Elliott. Costa Vassilos. Keep bashing them, guys. Great show. Keep it up.
Keep bashing who?
You know, Collingwood. Digsby, or Digsby, 2025. Well done, Hoskin Elliott. A legitimately great game from him. That was against Carlton, obviously.
Is he cursing anyone else this week? Can he say something positive about Fremantle?
Yeah. John Cornish. Great podcast again. Do you think Carlton becoming irrelevant like the Saints? And Russell Blackwell answers, Secure have been irrelevant for over 100 years.
Well, no, I don't think Carlton's becoming irrelevant.
Yeah.
They're already there.
The McRainiac, people born after 1995 must wonder why others think beating Carlton is a big deal, which is actually a really good point. I actually missed this comment a couple of weeks ago, so I'm going to bring it up now. Evan Purdue. Question, how many good games will Lipinski have to string together for Spook to change his opinion of him? Genuinely curious.
What was it aimed at me?
Well, it says your name, so it's not like I've edited it. You obviously hate him.
No,
why do you hate him so much?
Why
do you hate him?
What was the leading to the question?
Question, how many good games will Lipinski have to string together for Spook to change his opinion of him? Genuinely curious. You know how much I love Lipinski.
412 is the answer.
Good to me.
I don't think it's a question of his good performances and stuff.
I think the brave performances.
That's more to the point. It's the ability to short step and not go hard when you should is, I think, where he gets most of the criticism from me and you.
I don't criticise him. I love him.
You love him, dude.
He's my favourite player.
Yeah, you wear his number on his back?
Yeah. Where?
You wear his number on his back?
Yeah, his back, yeah.
So
wear the same jumper.
You come here for the insight.
Paul Stevens, not unhappy with the loss to Gold Coast. I've been worried for a while that the winning mantra has started to morph into playing bursts of football to win games, and some players have just been easing off a few percent in effort. These are dangerous things to allow in too close to finals. A loss will refocus the team, which I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, some of the commentary that we had, not with you and our group, but with another group, is I think it's a good time to have that loss because it is a bit of a wake-up call. I think if we'd continued, and I would have been happy if we fucking won, obviously, but if we continued, it would have completely overshadowed that shit first half because everyone would have just focused on the win.
Yeah.
I think, now, you've got to sometimes be reminded that you've got to keep working hard for these things. It's just not going to come by turning up, and I think that's just a timely reminder that, you can't serve that shit up for the first half again. And I don't think we will. It's an aberration, surely. But, it's a timely reminder. I think it'll be good. I think it'll serve us well on the run home.
Yeah, I agree. I actually, I prefer we lost because I hate this mentality that we perpetuate that, we can come back from anywhere. Don't get in those positions that you have to apply that. I'd rather, as exciting as the McRae era has been coming back from behind and winning and all that sort of stuff, I will take some boring fucking wins where we're just 6 goals up and just kill the game.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be like Sydney last year where you just kept fucking turning up and winning and then completely failed when it came to the final run. Even though they made the grand final, they just didn't turn up.
But the thing with Sydney is their form dropped off to an extent, in the last quarter of the year, but they still made a grand final. from memory, they smashed Port in the prelim. I can't remember who they beat before that. Now, Brisbane smashed them in the grand final. But I don't think that had anything to do with City's home and away season, because you go back 2 years and they got to a grand final, and then Geelong smashed them. I think we just got to face facts. They've got a smashable culture. It's the blood's culture.
It's just like a combined face that you just want to smash.
Yeah.
No, I think it's also that you're carrying that weight of expectation. Like, the media will sit there and fucking tug themselves week in, week out who the flag favourite is. Now, clearly it won't be us anymore after this weekend.
Well, Matthew Lloyd said, "Well, we can't win the flag with that midfield being what it is." So,
well, but didn't he have a puff piece on Josh Daicos being the answer to our midfield woes?
Yep.
Is he all right, Matthew Lloyd? Was he clutching his brain at any point?
Well, he came from Essendon, so
yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, that's I didn't know about that. That's interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't watch that fucking puff piece. I saw it on YouTube as a heading, where it said, "Can he do it all?"
Yeah, Josh Daicos could become the best midfielder in the competition. Let me ask you a dangerous question before we sign off. This is a ban for 5 years for saying 23 Carlton players went missing. I'd like to report that 23 Carlton players went missing in the preemptive murder of Michael Voss.
Look, it's an incredibly stupid attempt at humour. I think the minute you put the murder word in there, then you're putting a spotlight on you. But I think the fucking punishment was absurd. You know, look, ban someone like that for the rest of the year or another year, but 5 years?
It's kind of...
It's fucking... I mean, I don't care whether it's one of ours or not. I don't think anyone... It's just a fucking... What about that kid who threw the bottle on the ground? How long did he get?
I don't know. Okay.
And the Whitty guy, the Collingwood supporter who tried to lick the face of the West Coast guy, didn't he got banned for the rest of the year?
Yeah,
what's worse? A stupid text message or player contact?
I've seen a lot of player fan contact too, which is just not reported. And it's just like the player runs past and fan will go like tap him on the shoulder or whatever. In the relation to that, I find it should be judged in context of what they've done.
But then you put it into... So there was a Richmond player this week who self-reported that he made a homophobic slur and got rubbed out for 5 weeks. 5 weeks for fucking name-calling at the end of the day. So then you had... I can't remember which player it was. Was it Rioli or something that made a death threat or multiple death threats and you got a week for that?
Willie Rioli.
What's fucking worse? If you come up and punch someone in the back of the head, you get about 2 weeks these days. Calling someone a homophobic slur is worse than being punched in the head. Where's it fucking the balance? I mean, it's just like being so fucking precious about certain things in certain areas. And again, it's the AFL with their desire to be... is the term woke as all fuck? I don't know. I don't know anything about this stuff. Let's just say it's woke as all fuck. It influences some of these absurd decisions that are made.
Disney is all fuck.
Disney is all fuck.
Yeah.
Is it Disney John Ralph is all fuck?
I've said in relation to the physical acts, of punching. I've said it for years. They should be really, really hardly punished. Not hardly as in not punished, but they should be punished severely. So stuff like, I would be comfortable like the Tom Lynch one where you sit someone, which is just pretty much a flush punch.
How much did he get?
I think he got 5 or 6.
Well, so that's deserving then.
Oh.
But is that in the same ballpark as calling someone a homophobic slur?
The thing with...
I'll tell you what, I'd rather be on the other the receiving end of the slur than a punch by a 6'4" bloke.
Yeah, it's a funny thing to...
Call me strange.
It's funny thing. I mean, the Lynch one, I would be totally comfortable with the AFL saying that's 12 weeks. With that sort of action. On the flip side, and I'm not defending Lynch or qualifying what he did, but he's been mauled the whole game, been held and scragged and all that sort of stuff. He's getting no protection from the umpire. So again, the AFL could really easily clean this up just by getting umpires to enforce rules, to not allowing players to retard the guy they're on unfairly, illegally. There's a lot of rules in place which are very easily enforced in these sort of situations. I mean, I recall, just going back 25 years or something, I remember one time against Geelong where Buckley had a cut under his eye and the umpire said, we got to go off for the blood rule. And Buckley's going, well, how do you think I got cut? And he wiped his blood on Cameron Ling. It's like...
And people just thought it was his hair leaking.
But it's like... That's the sort of tactic which is considered acceptable. And that should have been like 6 weeks to Ling, but it wasn't. So these would be really easy things to stamp out in terms of the physicality of the stuff. But they don't, because they're piss weak. And then every now and again they'll just make an example of someone. Anyway, any final thoughts?
All that's crazy talk.
Crazy talk. Okay. Well, that's it from us. Subscribe, like, share.
Or share, like, and subscribe.
Or like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back. We're still working out next week, aren't we?
Yes. No, yes.
Yep,
Yeah,
so-
no, it should be fine. Should be back on, I would imagine.
Yep. All right. And we'll be back next week.
Do it like Collingwood in the first half. It's not Collingwood in the first half.
He's totally flush.
This is me.
8 years. 8 years.
It's a shame.
Later.
Bye. That should have gone over there. What a Collingwood thing to do.